recording.
All right.
Yeah.
9:08.
What time are we? 9:08?
9:08. Mhm.
Omar's in on the call, but I'm acting chair today, so I'm calling to order the Upper Rio Grande Flood Planning Group General Meeting for Thursday, December 15th, 9:08 a.m. Welcome to everybody that's in the call, and I'll ask, are there any public comments? Okay, with no public comments, the minutes are not ready and they'll be done at the next meeting. So can I get a motion to table the December 6th minutes until the next meeting?
So
moved. Second.
Okay, so Jeff Bennett and Omar.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. I assume there'll be no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Richard?
Good morning, everyone. This is Richard Bagans from Water Development Board. First of all, congratulations today. If you guys so choose to adopt your plan, it's been a long 2 years. That went by very quickly. But a lot of work to get off the ground, to get this process going. Submission instructions were sent out in an email blast. Reminder, January 10th is submission deadline. And the hard copy requirement in our contract, it says 5 hard copies. It was reduced to 2 hard copies due by January 10th. Other than that, we just have more newsletters and email blasts coming up with guidance on how to roll over any excess funds from tasks 1 through 11 to 12 and 13. Recommending probably if you guys want, take January off. A couple of regions are meeting late January, and then a lot of them are mostly scheduling towards February and March. Just to give you guys a heads up to continue on with task 12 and 13. Anything else on my plate? We have one payment request pending from Rio Grande COG that is on us on TWDB right now. But I believe our previous one was just paid in the past few weeks with them as well. Other than that, that's it for me. Any questions for me at this
Richard.
time? Yep.
Richard, can you talk briefly about Water for Texas coming up?
Oh, thanks, Omar. So TWDB's conference, Water for Texas, is being hosted in Austin in January. It is kind of just like a lot of, if you guys haven't heard of it, again, it's a lot of panels of water professionals across the state and even around the country come in with different speakers. There is going to be a state flood planning panel, and Omar is on that with a few other chairs and consultants from across the state. We kind of chose people across the state, but Omar's coming from the chair's perspective on that panel.
What's the date?
I believe.
Second through the 25th.
Don't know it off the top of my head. It is January 23rd to 25th in Austin, Texas, on the UT campus. That hotel, AT&T Conference Center.
It's interesting days to hold a conference. Usually it's a Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're signing up, they ran out of rooms already, so I'll have to stay somewhere else.
It's too bad.
Motels book full, huh? The hotel.
Yep.
Yeah. That means good attendance. That's good.
Very good attendance. And just a little shout out as well. I know El Paso County is going to have a representative on there as part of another panel on there talking about the 5th infrastructure fund that's out there. So
yeah,
it'll
it's going
be
to
a
be Jose Landeros. Jose Landeros from the county is presenting.
Any other questions for Richard?
And just a comment, the state flood planning panel is going to be on that Tuesday, the 24th, moderated by the flood planning director here, Reem June. And that is it for me.
Is it going to be video presented so we can watch it remotely?
I do not believe so. I believe it is going to be an in-person only conference. I'll double check on that, Dave, and get back to you if I do find out that it is.
Yeah, I just wanted you wouldn't be able to participate in it, but just to watch it.
I
Dave,
know they usually post the like keynote speakers on the website or YouTube a couple days afterwards, but I don't think the panels will be recorded. But I'll go ahead and ask since we're moving to a more virtual and hybrid realm. So
Okay. Thanks. Anything else for Richard? All right, we'll move on then to item 5, which is AECom.
Good morning again, Gilbert Andujo with AECom. Today it's basically going to be a quick little presentation. We're just going to have one item, which is going to be an action to vote item. But before we do that, I just want to again express our gratitude towards having such a good, regional flood planning group. We got a lot of things accomplished, and we all worked as a group, and that's the way things should always be. So moving forward, I know we're still going to work on the amendments, but just thought I'd say that out. Getting this first regional flood plan out was a big deal. So thank you all. So we're going to have an action to vote right now. Before we go through this action to vote, what I'd like to do is kind of share the regional flood plan. We'll share the executive summary with you all, so y'all get an idea of what we're submitting on there, and maybe show parts of the rest of the flood plan. With that being said, Brian, you want to go ahead and share your screen with those portions?
And while he's bringing his screen up, I want to thank Gilbert and all of his guys for all the reach out that you did. I know I paid a lot of attention to make sure that, or at least to ask that we paid a lot of attention to the rest of the state that's out there in the rural area and the other communities. And I want to thank AECom for all of the reaching out they did. They did a great job at that.
Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated.
Oh, and there's also a gal, Miss Alejandra Marcos, so she's part of AECom also. You said the guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Guys is
Thank you,
generic.
Annette. Appreciate that.
For me, guys is
Very
generic.
important.
I'm not in the pronoun business.
Thank you. Thank you, Annette.
We're old school, Dave, right?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Brian, it's yours.
All right, thank you. Morning. Can everyone see my screen?
Not yet.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Let me try
not yet.
again.
There.
Okay. But now.
Well, this one has, this just has the 2 slides. Is that what your screen is?
Yes, just looking at the
Okay.
PowerPoint presentation at the moment.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
yeah,
sorry, I
so
misread the first
here.
time.
There it is.
Just okay. As Gilbert mentioned, we posted all the chapters and appendices are available for review on the Upper Rio Grande website. So you can go find them under planning documents, and they're all listed out. We have the appendices as separate PDFs. But today we just, as we know, most on the call, reviewed many of these documents already. So just to give another brief overview, the executive summary includes a list of all the different chapters and appendices and map exhibits. In particular, I wanted to just sort of reference in chapter 10 as part of this latest finalized submittal. We've included Appendix 10D and 10E, which are the draft RFP comments and responses. So in Appendix 10D, we have comments from TWDB as well as our responses. So it starts with just the comments followed by listed out responses to each of those. And these were discussed in our last planning group meeting. So I believe all of those comments have been addressed at this point. We also have some of the comments and responses that were received from the public, and those are in a separate appendix. So In the final submittal to TWDB, there will also be the geodatabase, which includes all the the GIS supplementary GIS data that was used in the development of the plan, as well as map files to view those GIS data sets, the Word documents, and all the the supplementary files that are required for the final submittal. So all we've really posted so far are just the PDFs for the adoption. But if anyone has any questions, we'd be happy to continue discussing. We can review or go back to any particular comments that you might want to look at, see how we address those in the final. So yeah, we really have a short agenda today, but did want to just sort of describe our intention or thinking for the action to vote. So it's written out here, which would in which the RPG would adopt the final deliverables with authorization to make non-substantial edits or edits finalizing responses to the draft RP comments. So those comments that we discussed last time, I do think we've addressed most, if not all of them already, but we just wanted to include that in case we wanted to allow us to make any non-substantial edits continuing forward. But what you see here is a pretty much finalized package. So feel pretty confident that we can adopt this if that's what you choose.
At one point, Brian, there were some submissions from a person that you said were really not very relevant, and we got feedback from the Water Development Board that we needed to include those with your response to those, even though you guys considered them not very relevant. Did you do that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Those are in
right,
Appendix 10D at the very end. So.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, do we need a motion that states verbiage the same as the action to vote that you just read?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have a motion to do that? Somebody wants to vote.
Motion to approve?
Okay.
Second.
Okay, so you have Omar and then Jeff.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed to the motion? Okay, motion passes. I think the next thing we have, did we talk about a meeting date last time?
We had said that we had mentioned that I would be sending out some a doodle poll for some time in, I believe it was in January. So AECOM, is that still the case, or do you want me to actually look at just like how Richard mentioned, some of them are moving into February? Do we want to
Yeah, what do you need?
talk about task 12 and 13? What are the next steps you all want to take?
And if we have to approve any funds transfers, to
No,
those areas.
I think we have all the funds transferred to prove that we had as necessary.
Okay.
We can look back at that if necessary. We can reach out to you all as far as that's concerned. But I think as far as AECOM is concerned, I think we can start towards the end of January, early February to start moving on with the task 12 and 13.
So then if it's okay with the board, then I'll just be in communication with AECOM to see when we would anticipate having the next meeting. But I think it's safe to say that it wouldn't be till the later part of, with Waterford, Texas, we probably wouldn't have the meeting in late January because
That'd probably be early February. You're right.
early February. Okay.
Yes.
And then if I may, through the chair, for Richard, we had made, the group had approved to go forward with certain cities to be selected for task 12 and 13, since Kermit is no longer, they're not interested. We've tried several ways to communicate and there has not been that reciprocated. The idea was to then move forward with Presidio. We need to have that as an action item as well. Would you recommend? Because we did
Yeah.
have it in discussions that they would be the fallback, but it's not, I don't think it was done in a formal setting.
Yeah, unless when you voted, if you voted on the exact set that was to be performed, or if you voted on the set like that you would move down the list in case you one couldn't be performed and it moved down. Do you remember what the actual vote was on?
The vote was on specific cities, and then we had just in discussion said that they would be given at least till December 6th to
Yeah,
respond.
there was a contingency to
But if
remove it,
not, that the Presidio would move on, but we didn't vote on that.
didn't we? Okay,
No.
all right.
Then yes, you would need an extra vote to identify which ones to be performed, and to be on just to back up yourselves, like come up with whatever other backups there were and vote to approve those as needed, if the other FMEs aren't going through.
And Gilbert, is that okay then if we wait till February then to vote on Presidio, or is that going to hold you guys up?
I would say I'd rather do it sooner than later. So if the flood planning group would want to have one in mid-January just to get that item out of the way and have a quick meeting, I think I would prefer that, Annette, to keep us rolling.
It sure seems to me that we had a,
But I
We
thought
had
we
a
had discussed
contingent-
that on the last one.
yeah, I thought we had a contingency that we agreed on, but I don't remember whether we voted on it. Maybe it's useful to look through
Yeah,
minutes.
we'll go back to the recording just to, and I'll go through legal counsel to see if that's appropriate to move forward. So then what we can do is based on verification of the minutes and the recording, if we do not need to have Presidio identified exclusively, then we won't meet till February. But if we do have to vote on Presidio, then I think Gilbert was suggesting that we could look at the week of the 9th through the 13th, or the 16th through the 20th.
16 to 20, I'm gone for most
Because-
of that
and-
week, so.
And I hope you don't mind, let me interrupt you here. I think we had an item on the last meeting where we had potential action to vote for approval of changes to task 12 FMEs to be performed. And I thought we had it in there. So let me,
Well, we did, but then Jeff Irvin stated publicly, no, you can't do that because you didn't vote on that. And so it was his position that Presidio was not included. So let me just go ahead, because I know we're close to wrapping up. I can just go back and take a look at that, present it to legal counsel and see if we meet the requirements where we can go forward without having to have a meeting to vote on that formally.
But if we do, let's do it the week of the 9th.
Okay, but if we do have to, Dave's suggesting that we do it the week of the 9th or the 13th.
Is that week okay with you, Gilbert?
that's fine with me.
Okay.
I think the sooner the better. And either a Tuesday or Thursday will work.
So either
Everybody
the
else on the,
10th or the 12th?
yes.
I'll send out the poll. I'll send the poll for either the 12th or the 10th or the 12th, if we have to.
Yes, if we have to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Annette.
That's all I have on my side.
And then the meeting after that would be in February?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, if there's no other business, then I'm gonna need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Bennett? Gilbert? Okay.
Okay, and I know there's no discussion, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And any
Congratulations,
opposed?
everybody.
Any opposed? That's good. Okay, motion passes. Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Happy holidays. If we don't talk to
Happy
you.
holidays.
Holidays.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Oh,
Bye.
Take care.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.